Sales, sales, sales.
Yeah.
Sales solves everything, as they say. Whether it's money, whether it's relationships, whether it's life, whether it's dating, whether it's women, you got to know sales.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, they say if you know sales,
Yeah.
you'll always have a job. You're always going to succeed in life. Salespeople, especially the ones that do great, are the most highly compensated people in the world, right?
Sure.
Especially marketers.
Yeah.
Except for if you're going to become a professional athlete. We see an NBA season right now. You were just at the NBA draft.
I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Where's that? There's
All right.
in New York.
Selling yourself.
That's right. Shaking hands out there. One of our guys, Tiffany's father, Fred, is one of our agents, and he's signed his son up for policies while he was taking NIL deals while he was at Colorado State. Well, he makes it to the dance. Makes it to March Madness.
Yeah.
Right. They won a couple of games, and then make a long story short, gets invited to the combine, and next thing you know, out of 60 players drafted, he was one of them.
So one of your buddies' sons? What is this?
So Tiffany's, my wife's BFF, Tiffany.
Yeah.
Her father's, Tiffany is one of our licensed associates. Her father's one of our licensed associates. Her brother, his son, plays for Wash State, 6'8", just got drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies. Going to be playing with Ja.
It's amazing. And then my good buddy, Marcus Smart, plays on the team.
Is that right?
And one of my best friends, he was the agent for Chris Humphries, one of my best friends, you know.
Yes.
He just had a player drafted. He went to Utah. No, Toronto. So what number pick was your guy?
He was fifth pick in the second round, 39. I believe.
Yeah, so 37, 39. Okay, yeah.
35, yeah.
My guys, I think he was in the first round at some point. But
Yep.
you know, we're deviating from sales. But you started this off saying 10 reasons that conferences made me a millionaire. Same for me. Showing up to events, conferences, meeting networks, meeting people, shaking the right hands.
That's right.
You know, some people say shaking hands, kissing babies. Right?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah.
Not kissing hands, shaking babies. You don't want to be doing all that.
Zero.
But look at you at the NBA draft for the relationships that you've curated in your life. No matter what the business that you're in, I always say that you're in the people business. People like doing business with people that they like. So focusing on sales, you're constantly having to sell yourself, selling yourself to get a job, to get a raise, to get a girl, to get a date, to get an opportunity, to get your way.
That's right.
You know how that goes. Yes. Now, we have a video of a world famous salesperson talking about
who's that guy?
Why sales is so important. Who's this guy, Matt?
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise, y'all. Who's this good looking guy right now? I wore money green for you, Matt.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Let's talk about sales. Go ahead, Matt. Play this clip.
There you go.
If you want to know my secret strategy on how to get what you want and how to sell, it is this video. And I always told my kids, if you want to get whatever you want in this world, it is through the route of not a college degree, it is through the route of sales. So with that
Bingo.
being said,
So it's through the route of sales. So you were in the military, you were a Marine. You know, through your 20s, you were kind of navigating through life. You were working in the insurance business. Next thing you know, in 2015 or so, you met PBD.
That's right.
PHP, boom.
That's right.
Faith Made Millionaire, seven-figure squad. Sales. In life, in business, in meeting your wife.
Yes.
What are the advantages of knowing how to sell?
So, number one, the reason why you never asked that girl in high school to the prom, because you didn't know how to sell. And you settled. Right? The reason why you took the job with a career or your family told you to get this education or this because you didn't know how to sell your idea. And so, therefore, if you don't know how to sell your idea, you just caved into what everybody sold you. And so if you want the best things out of life, the first person you got to sell is yourself. You got to sell yourself on what you want to do and get clear on your aspirations. And once you sell and once you're confident in those aspirations, then every decision after that will be in correlation to achieving that goal. And the reason why people in sales make the most amount of money, because in any conversation, the person who's most confident in their position and selling it will naturally attract the other person to their side. Debating is sales. You know your facts, your figures. And through that confidence of knowing those facts and figures, or why things are where they're at, or the problems exist, why your service, your solution, your side of the argument is better for that situation, and you sell it, you naturally win people over, and you have them rallying. And I mean, look how Patrick sells capitalism. Look how you sell money. Save that money, right? You're selling it. A lot of things that your coach, your teachers, your professors, your influencers, the people that you naturally follow, guess what they know how to do naturally? You don't even know it. They're very good at sales. I think some of the best salespeople in the world are pastors.
Right?
because think about this. They're selling you on a destination they've never been to.
Yep.
Faith.
Right? Correct.
Faith made millionaire.
They're selling you a man they've never met.
Yeah.
They may have had an encounter with, but they've never had, it's not like they had lunch with Jesus, right? To sell you about heaven. So some of the best salespeople are out there. So good, by the way, good or bad, sales wins.
What do you think makes a good salesperson a great salesperson? Because I've seen in PHP, and I want to bring up some examples of that. You know, I've seen some of these leaderboards. Yeah. There's the people who are doing all right. You know, there's the MDs, that $50,000 ring earner, that kind of a thing. There's the guys that hit the 6 figures. Then there's the guys that hit the 7 figures. Yeah. How do you go from good to great in sales?
I think first one is you got to master that skill set, because when you have a skill set of how to sell, you're more confident. When you're more confident, you end up doing more. You end up doing more, you end up having more results. So for the guy trying to perfect the shot one shot at a time, but you do 10. So I tell my guys, don't focus on the result. Focus on the activity of sales. Some people are trying to master one video. You're trying to master one script instead of just going through the repetition of doing it. And once you go through the repetition of doing, you end up mastering it along the way. And once you master along the way, you want to do it more often. And so sometimes people try to perfect, or they're afeared of rejection. But number one, if you just focus on the skill set of something, the second part of it is consistency and repetition of it. And the third one is just a work ethic. A lot of people say they work hard, but they're working with the wrong skill set. And a lot of pros will tell, in other words, in a conversation, a sales conversation, the amateurs will tell, sell, talk. The pros know how to ask. Yeah. They know how to ask and dig deep for the pain. And they know how to expose that pain to somebody else and show them the consequences of that pain. And if they allow the consequences of the pain to continue to exist, this is your current reality. Do you want that or not? If you want a solution to that, boom, here's my product or my service.
Exactly. So, you ever read the book QBS, Question-Based Selling?
I've never.
So, but the basic premise of what you're saying is that selling, they used to say, selling is telling. That's what they used to say.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Selling is not telling. Selling is asking.
That's right.
What does Elon Musk say? He always says you get paid in direct correlation to the size of the problems that you solve. And, you're finding pain points, whether you're insurance, all right, what's their pain point? God forbid, I pass away. What's going to happen to my kids? Yeah. All right, you're selling tech, you're selling software. Hey, you want the most updated, technologically advanced stuff so you can compete in the marketplace. You're selling financial services. Hey, what happens if my family goes broke? Hey, you're selling plumbing. All right, dude, what happens if shit goes down? I'm talking shit goes down. You're constantly having to be solving what a pain point is. So real estate. You've done some content about why you got into financial services versus real estate. Yes. Now, real estate, Marissa, our friend Marissa's in real estate. That's a whole different ballgame right there. Real estate, I think more than anything, you're selling the dream. And that's right. You're selling a lifestyle. So Marissa, how long you been doing real estate?
About 2 years.
2 years?
Yep.
And what were you doing before real estate?
I was in car sales.
Oh.
Yeah.
Car sales. So you're a salesperson.
I've only ever done sales jobs.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why'd you pivot from car sales to real estate?
I went into car sales when it was very lucrative, right? Remember the chip shortage and
This
things
is
were
in
out
what
of
year?
stock.
COVID.
This is 2020.
Okay.
So I went in and, there was a chip shortage. There was things out of stock. So everything was over sticker. So I was making a lot of money. And then when it started to normalize, I was like, oh, this isn't as lucrative as I thought. And so I was like, what's next? And I was like, what's the next step? And real estate made the most sense for me.
Yeah, a girl like you, I don't see selling used cars today. All right, I see you, this is what's going on. It's a lifestyle. But the real estate game is different from the financial services game.
Yep.
Because I feel like in real estate, you kind of got to be a little flashy. Like everyone I know in Miami that does real estate, they're driving Maseratis, they're driving Porsches. Yeah. Like I have one friend who's literally broke, but he's driving a Maserati. What? Neither here nor there. Yeah, because that's a status symbol. Where in financial services, there's also an element of like, I'm financially prudent.
And being very modest.
And being sort of modest.
Yeah. You don't want to show your flash because clients don't want to feel, okay, you're making all these fees and
So
commissions.
you're taking a percentage of my money and motherfucking driving a Rolls Royce, whatever it is.
That's right.
But, to each their own. So what do you think separates you're in the insurance financial services game. One of the things I love about PHP, and this is, because your family is in PHP. Shout out to Marvin and Dee out there.
What's up?
Natalya's family out there.
Alliance.
What I love about sales is there's no excuses. Meaning anyone can do it.
Sure.
And I've learned this, like it manifested for sure when I started being around PHP. Why? Because pull up this picture of the top people at PHP. Now, I've been to, since 2020, I've been to all the different big events, even the virtual event in Dallas, and I've met all the PHP crew.
You're like one of us, brother.
But I'm with the squad.
Yeah.
And, my boy Ricky,
Yeah.
he's been on the PBD podcast
Patos
a bunch.
Locos.
Ricky, I don't want no problems, bro. Gaitan, respect to you.
Yeah.
But I want to focus on the two guys in the middle of PBD. Because we all know PBD. But this is what I love about sales. And this is what I love about, they say it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
That's right.
Here you have two completely opposite people. I'm talking about Matt Sapaula and Rodolfo Vargas, the short, bald guy right there. I say that he's the Rudy. You ever see the movie Rudy?
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
the financial services business. Now, why do I say that they're complete opposites? Why? Matthew is the Rock's little cousin, 6'4", tan man, Marine, doing his thing. Like, speaks English, smart. God blessed you when the Sapaula showed up this earth. Just letting you know.
Praise God.
Okay, praise God. Rodolfo, 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, came from El Salvador, didn't speak English.
He was part of PHP just to learn how to speak English.
He joined PHP so now you see him now, and he still's like, yes, I part of PHP, and this is my sales success story, and it's obviously a thick accent.
Cancun, I love going to the bitches.
I love the beaches.
The what?
But
the bitches.
Let me tell you why I have so much respect for this guy.
Yeah.
And this is a message for anyone that wants to get into sales or make something for their life. This guy's not from America.
That's right.
He didn't speak English well.
Correct.
His wife, by the way, same situation, doesn't speak English well. Now they've been here 10 plus years.
Yep.
He was, I think, a security guard at Sears or something.
At Sears. Right, what do you call that? Loss prevention.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, you don't steal something. Yeah, I'm going to take it. Okay, good luck. But every single event, I've seen, all the guys sort of win awards. But nobody, in my opinion, I don't know, you tell me, has won more, PHP awards for the top earners, the top producers, the top teams than you, 6'4" stud, Matt Sapaula Marine, and Rodolfo, 5'4", non-American guy. So he didn't say, but I don't speak English, but I'm not from America. My family didn't have money. I'm not 6 foot. He said, let me get to work.
That's right.
And you cut through the BS and you get to work.
Right.
Speak to that about who can make money in sales, because anyone can. Black, white, short, fat, tall, skinny, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
The cream rises to the top. Anyway, thoughts on that?
100%. It's the great equalizer because sales is based on meritocracy. And if you are performing a level, and by the way, Rodolfo, he may not be in the African American community, he may not be in the Caucasian community, but he's very good in the Spanish community.
Yeah.
Well, rightfully so.
Riches are in the niches.
One of his biggest offices in Puerto Rico. He's not Puerto Rican, but he pick up Spanish.
Peaky.
Right? And so he knows his market. He knows his deal. But Rodolfo, between my wife and Ishina and Rodolfo and Ceci Vargas, it's a slugfest on the Leaders Bulletin every stinking month. It's a slugfest. Because it's about how fast you can improve, how fast you can evolve, how fast you can recreate yourself, how fast you can get from a victory or a loss and get back to work. And that's what Rodolfo. And by the way, speaking of which, shout out to Rodolfo. If things end up where we need to be based on what we feel we've done already, based on the numbers we've done the last couple of years, Rodolfo's due for a pretty big check in August.
Wow.
We're looking at $1 million check.
One check.
One check, $1 million to Rodolfo.
Rodolfo, I want to know your address. I want to make account.
So it's a pure meritocracy. We say in our office, it doesn't care if you're white, you're black, you're brown. We care about one color.
Yeah.
And that's green.
That's the green.
We care
That's
about
why I wear a green jacket.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
We care about one race, human race. And if you're down with green, money. If you're down with helping other people, great. We can find a way to partner together.
I love that.
So, in a second, I'm going to show a couple different quotes for the people at home. But the reason I told that story is because every time I'm with Rodolfo, I'm thinking, how did this guy get to the top of the leaderboard?
Yeah.
Because there's so many, in America today, especially with the younger folk, there's the victim mentality. I didn't come from a wealthy family. I didn't come from the privileged people, the DEI stuff, the oh my God, all that stuff. This guy didn't speak English, came to America and competed in the financial services industry in America and crushed it. I think his team just got picked up by Integrity. There was some deal.
That's right. Our partnership with Integrity.
Yeah.
Right.
So
official partners with Integrity.
Anytime that I see people making excuses, it's so easy to go down the rabbit hole. It's like, well, I didn't come from a family with money, okay? And then there's going to be a guy that's like, well, I came from a single parent household with money. And then I came from a handicapped part, my mom was a crackhead or whatever. And then well, I was born in this. And it's like, there's a race to the bottom. Now listen, my father had cerebral palsy. And here's a guy where I saw physically just not able to do things that other people do. But this guy worked. And anytime I tried to make excuses, because I played sports. I played college football. I played a little basketball. I was like, but even in high school, I almost quit the high school team. Oh, they're too big. He's like, that's just what you're gonna do. You're gonna make excuses. So you can make excuses, or you can make a plan to figure things out. And that's why I respect this guy so much, because he just didn't buy into whatever. I'm from El Salvador. I work at Sears. That's it.
And by the way, all of his meetings are also in English. So naturally, for a lot of people that speak Spanish or different language, they want to probably bring it back into the language where they're comfortable at. That's what Rodolfo did. He kept everything in English, so he forced himself to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's what a lot of people don't like. Because in order to be good at sales, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so if you're just looking for something safe, cush, that's okay. There's a spot for you. But if you want to make some big money, and like what you said earlier, if you want to make sure you always have a job, have a door always open to you, you got to learn sales.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you got to learn how to ask for referrals. So if you learn how to sell and you learn how to ask for referrals, you'll never starve for the rest of your life.
So a couple of things I said there. You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. There's a famous quote, your comfort zone will kill you, right? Where you just get comfortable. So I've been in a phase of my life where I got comfortable. And then I met PBD and he's like, so you have $1 million in the bank? You've got 100,000 followers on. It's that's it? That's not. I'm like, oh shit, there's another level? Because there's always another level to compete with. And then you said referrals. I always say that in business, there's something about the R word. So I say reputation,
relationships,
referrals, revenue.
I love it. The 4 R's.
Just
like the
Natalya. Yeah, it's okay. She's more meow. You got a good
No, not as good as Nats.
That was pretty good.
You got a good meow?
It. There you go.
How do you say meow in Spanish?
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, meow. But here's what I've learned about. So this is a message to the people out there, and I want you guys to basically give a message of what you've experienced in sales to the people at home. But what I've learned from the people that make money in sales is that it doesn't need to be a sexy business. It doesn't always have to. You don't have to be a Hollywood super agent to make money. You don't have to be an NBA agent. One of my cousins is an NFL agent.
Nice.
You think, oh, he's going to the Super Bowl. It's like, it is an ugly freaking job taking care of these 20-something-year-old guys and dealing with this drama out here. But as long as you're ever in the top 10% of any industry, whether it's insurance, whether it's real estate, whether it's finance, whether it's tech, you can be the best HVAC guy out there, the best window cleaning company out there. If you have the reputation, the referrals, the revenue, life of a salesperson is actually pretty good. But the flip side is there's going to be a year or two in the beginning where you got to eat shit and grind.
Can I make
not easy. Yeah, no, I want you to tell the people out there what it's like for the life of a salesperson.
Oh, guys, by the way, before I do that, I got a book recommendation.
Yeah.
It's an OG book. It's called How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling. And it's written by a guy named Frank Betker. He used to play professional baseball. I mean, this book was written in the 40s.
Yeah.
It's still applicable today. Do you know where I found this book? My parents had a bunch of books. Apparently, they did Amway back in the day.
Oh.
And they had a bunch of books in the basement. And I'm digging through, but I just got the Marines. I'm starting insurance. And I find these box of books in the basement. And this is one of them. Next one I found was Rich Man in Babylon. That's the one that was Power Positive Thinking. But this book right here, changed my life.
Yeah.
And the things here are still applicable to 2024. So to answer your question, sales not only just helps you make a lot more money. Guess what sales allowed me to do? It allowed me to become a better communicator. It allowed me to get the ideas from the inside, outside. Being a better salesperson, you got to understand the market that you're trying to help, the problems you're going through. So therefore, you can have more empathy and come from a position of, I understand you. This is why my Proctor service is going to help you. So people don't feel like they're being hawked something. They feel that they're being educated. They make an educated decision. And on top of that, they look at you differently like a salesperson. They look at you as an advisor in their life, a friend. The other area of aspect is allowed me to be a better father. Because as a father, the biggest challenge I had driving my kids around, Dad, why is the sky blue? Why is the light red? Why? The kids are always asking why. Why? So my kids are giving the biggest objections.
Yes.
And I had to sell why certain things are the way they are. So sales allowed me to become a better father, allowed me to become a better husband. Before that, it allowed me to become a better boyfriend, allowed me to approach the girl of my dreams, because now I had confidence, back to what we were talking about earlier. So when I saw Sheena at the hospital, I was like, oh, bro, I've been doing sales for 14, 15 years at the time. I'm like, I got this. Yo, Doc Monzo, you stay right, because it was at a hospital. And he's like, man, she's hot. I know she is, but I'm talking to her. You're not.
Hands off, buddy.
Man in the booth.
That's my lead.
That's right.
Coffee's for closers.
So that's correct. So I approached it with confidence. I opened up with a joke. She laughed. And as soon as she laughed, I knew I had at least another 5 minutes with her. Right? Until I get the next laugh. And I had another 10 minutes with her.
I mean, she laughs 3 times. That's it. You're getting married.
And I'm getting a number.
It's over.
I'm getting the digits.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and my part of sales also is the follow-up. So she gives me her digits.
The follow-up, Nati.
Yeah.
Me and Nati are working on the follow-ups out here. Yes.
So I followed up 30 minutes later.
How you doing?
Urgency.
How you
Yeah,
doing?
but you're right. I always say, you're talking about the confidence, that competence will lead to confidence. When you start getting good at something, all right, cool, I'm good at this. I'm good at doing sales. All right, I'm good at talking to whatever it is. All right, I get confidence. And when you get confidence, you got a little swag going on. These kids call it the Riz these days.
It's just Riz, yes.
You think that unconfident people got Riz? No.
Yeah.
That's just not going to happen right there. Competence turns to confidence right there. So, Marissa, you've been doing sales for how many years? Almost 5 years now?
No, since high school I've been in sales jobs. Yeah, so probably 10 years. Yeah, 10 years
10
or
years.
so, yeah.
So, how is it for girls out there, women out there in the sales game? So, what have you experienced? It's a little bit different. Where do you find the most success? What are the biggest challenges for a woman out there?
In real estate, I would say a lot of realtors are women. So I haven't seen a lot of struggle there. When I was in car sales, I was the only woman, and that was my advantage, at least, where I was at.
The ocean strategy.
Yeah, so it worked to my advantage. I appealed to women. I appealed to younger people. I was the youngest salesperson there. So it worked to my advantage. But going back to what Matt said, I think the biggest thing is, because I am a baby in real estate, 2 years is nothing compared to when I look at the Mongols, right, of like real estate. Confidence is huge. And going back to what he said, when he said asking for referrals, I think networking. The last 2 years, most of my business has come from referrals and networking with other people. Even meeting realtors in the industry, networking with people who have done a lot more business than me has been really beneficial. So I think as a girl, maybe you hold a little bit more power, networking and reaching out on social media and that kind of stuff. So, I go off of 2 years, one mouth. I'm a big listener when it comes to my clients and just networking with people. I really, do it to help people. So that's why I think that's the strength there.
Respect to you. Nat, you ever done sales?
Yes, I did a little bit of sales. I think in pieces of my jobs, it required sales. I know when I was working more so with, PHP in that industry, I was more in the sales on the recruiting end and that end of things. That's kind of where I fell in love for my sales, was taking somebody with no experience, no background, getting them to get licensed, and then getting them to make money that changed their life. I think selling people the idea and the dream that they could have a different life is my favorite type of sales, is that selling of the dream, but also having the tools to back that up. There's people who sell the dream that you're going to have all this type of lifestyle and all these benefits, but they don't have the maybe tools or evidence to back it up. So when you can find a product, a company that you love and you're able to, believe in the product, that sales, it's a different type of sales. It's not so much I'm selling it, for me to make an income. It's I'm selling it because it's going to benefit you. So my favorite type of sales is recruiting type of sales. That's my favorite
Recruiting.
sales. Yeah, there is sales in recruiting as well.
100%.
There's a big sales end of it. But for me, like when I love something and I'm truly like clear on what I'm doing, selling what I'm selling.
Well, Matt,
it
you
sells
talk
itself.
about the recruiting. I mean, too wide, too deep.
Yeah,
Can't be me. I've seen this whole thing out there. I know this whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, a couple different quotes for you guys. With a little message at home. We talked about the R's, the R's, the R's. Reputation, relationships, referrals, revenue, rock star. If you're doing this, here's actually a famous quote right here. Great salespeople are relationship builders who provide value and help their customers win. Relationship builders. Now, I said at the beginning, whether you're doing sales in business, in life, in picking up your wife, you got to sell yourself, and that's relationships. Now, another guy, Robert Kiyosaki, you've interviewed Kiyosaki. I've interviewed Kiyosaki a couple different times. He's got a great quote where he talks about how to make money. He says the following. Nat, go ahead, help me out here. You know my eyesight.
The most important specialized skills are sales and marketing. The ability to sell, to communicate to another human being, be it a customer, employee, boss, spouse, or child, is the base skill of personal success.
Exactly. Sales, marketing, and all those people you just talked about, whether it's a human being, whether it's a customer, employee, a boss, a spouse, a child. You talked about your kids, selling your kids.
Yeah.
These are all relationships.
100%.
You know, we talked about finance, romance here on the SOSCAST.
Yep.
It's all relationships at that point. So sales solves everything. Whoa. If you like that one, click right here to watch the full SOSCAST. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.